Effective communication in the project environment. There are three methods of communication: verbal, non-verbal, and written. Verbal communication is effective as it provides real-time exchange of information as well as rapid feedback. Trust and rapport is also developed more quickly, especially if communication is face-to-face. What is important when communicating is to know your audience. How much does your audience know? It's very important not to make assumptions and always inquire to better understand the level of knowledge that your audience has in regards to the subject that you're going to talk about. Let's look at oral presentations. Oral presentations mainly consist of introduction, an abstract, explanation, the body, and a summary, which is the conclusion. Here are the steps. The first step is the intro. Tell them what you're going to tell them. For instance, today I'm going to talk about. The second step is the explanation. Tell them. This slide shows. And finally, the summary. Tell them what you told them. As you can see from nonverbal communication. This is the part of the communication which is not the words themselves, but how they're delivered using a mixture of emotional aspects, gestures, facial expressions, vocal tones, and body language. It is said that more than 90% of communication is influenced by how it is delivered, and only less than 10% are the words. Although this is just a general case, and sometimes using powerful words does make a large impact, it just shows how the nonverbal aspects of communication are certainly important and worth noting. The nonverbal aspects of communication can be developed and utilized to powerfully impact and influence project outcomes. An interesting equation devised by Albert Mehrabian, derived from several studies, is as follows. Total message impact is equal to words 7% plus vocal tones 38% plus facial expressions 55%. Be aware that there are other factors that need to be considered, such as posture, confidence, and other non-facial factors such as hand and body movements, which are not considered in the formula but also play an important role in nonverbal communication. Despite this, it is important to identify the significance of nonverbal communication in the total message impact. This illustration shows how the receiver observes and decodes the message of the sender in real time, and then responds based on the interpretation and synthesis of the message. The receiver may have biases and make interpretations based on past experiences that the sender may or may not be familiar with or be aware of. These biases could affect the interpretation and synthesis process, causing misinterpretation. Written communication. In a project environment, these may include plans, reports, proposals, standards, policies, procedures, letters, memoranda, legal documents, and other agendas that are more suitably presented in written form. Written communication is used when communicating complex information, communicating information where future action is required from team members. It is the receiver's preferred communication style, which could be related to factors such as personality, culture, and experience, when it involves legalities and company procedures, and when it is a precise instruction. It is important to make messages easy to read. Here are some guidelines on formulating a written message. Avoid technical jargon and obscure sophisticated terms that are not commonly known. Use short words rather than long words. Present subjects with clarity, and present in a logical, progressive manner. This figure shows how the purpose of communication and the method of communication are so well related. If we have a general overview, such as an overview or background, the best way to do this is using oral plus written. If immediate action is required, it is best to again use both oral and written form. future action required, it is better to have that in written form because it may be forgotten if it's just spoken. Directive, order, or policy change, it is best to have that both in oral and written form to emphasize on its importance. Progress report to supervisor, generally this is also done in oral and written form. An awareness campaign will also use an oral and written form. So would a commendation for quality work. Reprimanding a team member is best done orally and in private. And settling a dispute, likewise, it is best done orally and in private if possible. I'd like to emphasize again on how important it is to know your audience. Always try to speak with your audience in mind. Speak the language of your audience. Etiquettes are also really important. It's important to follow simple etiquettes when presenting. And make sure you dress for the occasion. Know what to wear, where, and when.